Good afternoon, everyone. So the agenda of today's session would be to download the live tick data from Alice Blue, store it on our database like MySQL, and then we need to convert that tick data into candlestick data. So Alice Blue is a discount brokerage. Like how you sign up with any other brokerage, you need to sign up with Alice Blue in the same fashion. And then you have to create your web app for the same. So I'll show you the URL. After you sign up with Alice Blue and they give you the username and password, you have to use the same username and password to create your application. So develop -api dot aliceblueonline.com. So when you enter this, it will ask you for username and password, and then a two-factor authentication, which is your year of birth. So after you have logged in, you need to click on the create app. So the username and password, they would be same for your trading account as well as this API account. Now give whatever name you want to give to this app name and the redirect URI. So redirect URI, what you have to do is by default, this is going to be the redirect URI. Just revisit the video for the redirect URI. So right now I'm using this one. This is the application right now which I'm using. Or you can even give this local host. Even the local host IP address also you can give as the redirect URI. After creating that application, it will be giving you one API key and API secret key. Let's do one thing. Let us try to create one. See, when I have created the app, what happened now? I'm given an app ID, an app name, and an app secret key. These things I have to note them down. So what did I do? While I have created them, I have noted down them in API key and API secret key in a two separate text files. So username, the same which Alice Blue gives you, and the password which you have set. Two-factor authentication is the year of birth. So all these details you will be storing in text files and you will be accessing them. And this is going to be your redirect URI. Now coming to the program, how does Alice Blue work? First of all, in order to get the live data or in order to make any transaction, you need one access token. Access token in the sense, Alice Blue is going to identify you by that number, alphanumeric number, whether you are permitted to get the live data from Alice Blue or not, whether you are permitted to send orders through your program to Alice Blue. So all these things, that access token is going to give information to Alice Blue. So you have to generate that access token, and this access token, it expires every 24 hours. So once you generate an access token, you can use it for the whole day. So the access token is now generated. By using the access token, you have to connect to Ally's Blue now. Earlier, what you did is you have just logged into Ally's Blue backend using the username password. Then it has sent to you one access token. Now you have to connect to Ally's Blue for requesting the data or for placing the orders. So you should create one Ally's Blue object for the same and then start getting the data. So how do you get the data? Ally's Blue is a type of like WebSocket. It uses WebSocket, and that WebSocket is continuously listening for the request from users. So any user who wants to connect to Ally's Blue socket, they can. And if you request, it will automatically and immediately send you the data. So step by step, let us see now. Now before that, we need this list of stocks that we want to subscribe from Ally's Blue. So first import pandas. SPD. Then I'm using a third-party module called NSE Tools, which has a function NSE. So here I'll be getting the list of FNO stocks. Then import PyMySQL in order to connect to the database. Now get the list of NSE FNO stocks. So create an object for that NSE, and the FNO list is equal to NSE dot get FNO lot sizes. So this FNO lot sizes function, what it does is it will give you a dictionary where the key values will be the stock name, whichever falls under FNO segment, and the values of all those dictionaries would be lot size of individual contract. So I don't want the entire dictionary. I just want the names of those stocks which fall under the FNO segment. So what I'll do is I don't want the entire dictionary. I'm just concerned of the keys, because dictionary, you can separate the keys and values by doing like this. The return value of this is going to be a dictionary. So dictionary dot keys, it is going to give you only the keys. Now when it gives you, just convert it into a list. So this FNO list now consists of all those stocks which fall under the FNO segment. Now in this Nifty, Bank Nifty and Fin Nifty are also there, which I don't want. I want only the stocks. So from that list, remove the item Nifty. From that list, remove the item Bank Nifty. And from that list, remove the item Fin Nifty. So now you have only the stocks which fall under the FNO segment. Now read the API key which you have in the text file. So open API underscore key underscore secret underscore allies dot txt. In what mode you want to open it? In a reading mode, and then read it. Then API secret. The text file name is API underscore secret underscore allies dot txt. Open this in reading mode and read the contents after opening it. Then username is there inside another file. Allies underscore username dot txt, Again, open that also in reading mode and read it. Password. Open the file alias underscore pwd. Instead of storing different files, you can store all the details inside a text file and then read each line as a string. That also you can do. Or else you can use a local DB. Python has a DBM database manager, which is local to the program. You don't need MySQL or anything like that. So alias underscore pwd.txt, that's the file name. And finally, the two-factor authentication. So all the important details you now have read. Next step is to generate the access token. So as I told, the access token is necessary if you want, or if Alice Blue should allow you to download the live data, then the access token is very much necessary. So for that, you have to first log in. So access token is equal to so from Alice Blue, import all the modules. Like how we have downloaded the modules, the same thing. You just go to that search bar, search for Alice Blue, and then download it and install it. So Alice Blue dot login and get access token. This is what we want. So redirect URI, even if you don't mention there by default, the same thing is taken. Now the first one is the username. So username is equal to username. Password is equal to pwd. Two-factor authentication is equal to same. API secret and the redirect URL. So because even if we don't mention, the default one is going to be taken, so I'm letting it like that. So now the access token is there with us. Now we want to store the data into our database, right? So that PL MySQL also we are going to connect. So py MySQL dot connect. So for this purpose, I have already created a database. Host is the local host. User root. Password is empty and database. So database I have already created with the name Alice Blue. Now, whatever data you are going to get, the live data, a function is going to handle that live data. The name of that function is event handler quote update. And this tick or whatever the argument that you're going to pass to this definition, that is going to hold the tick data. So you can do whatever you want with this tick data now. So we'll just first print it on first case. So print the tick data. So when you define a function, you also have to call it. Then certain callbacks are necessary in order to keep your connection alive. When you are connected with Ally's Blue, in order to keep it alive and in order to get the data. So global socket is open. This you have to tell it. So you are just telling it that whenever there is a disconnection or any error, it will refer to this. Is the socket still open? Yes, it is open. So when it is open, now start the WebSocket. So Ally's dot start. Okay, after getting the access token, now here when we got the access token, you can print it for your reference. And after this, you have to write it to a text file. Reason, because every time you need not connect to Ally's Blue like this, log in and get the access token. Every time it is not necessary. Even if you do it once for 24 hours, that is enough. So with open, access token underscore allies dot txt. So within this text file, I want to write down the access token whenever it is generated. So we need CSV module also. So open this particular text file as WR1 and whatever text that I have now. What is the text? The access token that I am going to write to the CSV file. So access token is now written. Now get the Ally's Blue object. So access token, you have to open the text file now. In the reading mode. And if there are any gaps at the end, that you can strip it here itself. So access token you have read. Now create an Ally's Blue object. So username, password, now give the access token that you have and the contracts that you wanted to download. So in order to give you the data, first it must have the list of symbols. And whatever list of symbols you are giving here, it should be able to understand. So what we need to do here is you need to tell it to download the master contracts data that it has. So one which is there in NFO means all the futures and options data, and the other NSE. Whatever cash market data that is there, it should download everything. And in future, whatever symbol I'm going to ask it, it should refer to this master contract. And only if that symbol is present in the master contract, then Allies Blue will understand what the stock is, and only then it will be able to give you the live data. Now start the WebSocket. Allies.start_WebSocket. This takes the event handler quote update. So when the WebSocket is started, it will check for whenever it gets the data, where should it send? So that function name you are giving it here. And open callback. What is this open callback again? To tell it that the socket is open and it can send the data to you. And do you want to run it in background? Yes. Utilizing the threads. So the WebSocket is now started. The next step is to send the symbols and get the live data. So first, I'll maintain an empty list, because straight away, if you pass the symbol names to Allies Blue object, it won't understand anything. Allies Blue understands the stock name as an instrument object. So this is the object. So whatever symbol you are requesting, that should be of this instrument type, not a string. So if you want to request ACC stock data, if you just pass ACC inside two quotations, it won't understand. You should pass it as an instrument object. So in order to do that, first let us create some empty list. And for each symbol in the FNO list, call.append means I'm appending the new item. And how to get that instrument object, how if I have the stock name, how to convert it into instrument object? You can do allies dot get instrument by symbol. In this get instrument by symbol, first you have to say about the exchange and then the symbol, whatever you already have. So if you do this, it will be converted into the instrument object, because it does not understand the string, and then it will append to the empty list. So till now, what did we do is we just have converted the strings that we have into an instrument object. We still did not ask for the live data. So to ask for live data, we will run an infinite while loop. So while true, so when you run this infinite while loop, you should also check if the current date and time is in between 9:15 to 3:30 or not. So for this we need the date time module. So if date time dot now means what is the time now? From this extract the time. So if date time current date and current time, if it is greater than 9:15, this check I want to perform. So date time dot time of 9:15. If this is true and date time dot now, again extract the time, and this is less than or equal to 3:30, only then you request for the data, otherwise don't request. If this is the case, then subscribe to the data. Alice.subscribe, whatever call list that you have, you just call it. And you also should tell about how should your live feed look like. Should it contain all the market depth, or should it contain only the last traded price? So you have several types in this live feed data type. One is the market data which we are using. Then other is the compact data, other is the snap code, and then full snap code. So in one version, you will get the full market depth, 5 best bids and 5 best sell and all those things. In some, you will be getting only the LTP. In some, you will be getting only the top best bid and top best sell, etc. So you can just go to the documentation and they will give you more details about this. So now you are ready for getting the live data. Let us just recall all the steps that we have performed till now. So the last step that we want to do is subscribe to the list of symbols and tell it what type of data you want. So this list of symbols which I am talking about, whose data I require, you cannot send it as strings. You need instrument objects. So that instrument objects, what we did is, whatever symbol list that we already have, we took each symbol at a time, converted into an instrument object by using the inbuilt function, and then appended to an empty list. So this list now contains all the instrument objects of all the stocks which fall under FNO segment. Right now, how are we getting the data? Only when we start the WebSocket. So the WebSocket, we are asking the Alice Blue to start the WebSocket and send us the data, and our program is going to receive it. So when Alice Blue sends the data, how are you going to handle it? How will you catch the data? I have a function. So you send the data to that function. That is what you're telling to Alice Blue. And my socket is always opened until the market ending time. And it runs in the background, means a separate thread will be assigned to this whole program. But how are you able to contact with Alice Blue? You have created one Alice Blue object over here. But when you create an Alice Blue object, it is accepting username, password, and another thing as access token. So this access token, how did we generate? Initially, we logged in and we got the access token. We wrote it to a text file. Then we accessed it using the same text file. And we are connecting to Alice Blue. We are connecting to Alice Blue and we are asking it to download the master contract data. So what is this master contract data? If you are asking for any symbol data, it will first check, is that symbol present in the list that is there with them? Because for example, if you give any spelling mistake, so how will Alice Blue check if really that stock exists or not? So it maintains a master list. It will compare the symbol that you have given with the one that is existent in the master list. If both of them match, only then it is going to give you the data. So this is what we have done till now. So let us run the program and see how we are getting the ticks. is saying that my API secret is not proper because I did not mention my app ID here. So app ID will be API underscore key. So I got the access token now. So start your Apache server and MySQL. Right, they are started. Now see, you already have got the access token and that is written into a text file. You can comment these lines now. These ones. You need not get the access token and you need not write it because you already have it in a text file. It will automatically read and that also still works because that is valid for 24 hours. So we have commented those lines where we are logging in and getting the access token and writing the access token to the text file. Those things we have commented now. See, we have received the tick data now. So we'll stop somewhere. So this is exchange NSE. Then each stock has its own token. The last traded price is 402.55. The last traded time, this is Unix time. Then the last traded quantity was 262. Total volume as of today, best bidding price, best bidding quantity. Then we have to stop it. Now you will have the symbol name over here inside the instrument object. The exchange is NSE, again the token, what is the symbol, the name of the company. Now expiry and lot size will be there for FNO contracts. So this is how you are going to get the live data. Even the yearly low, yearly high, that is also displayed. Then open, high, low, close. All these prices are displayed. So this close value will be of the previous day. The current value will be the LTP, last traded price. Average traded price is also displayed. Exchange timestamp means when did this trade got recorded on the exchange, so that you will get to know if there is any delay in between the data that transaction happened on, the time at which the transaction happened on exchange and the time at which the brokerage is giving you. See, LTT is 1640460 and even the exchange timestamp is also the same. So like this, you will be getting a single dictionary for a single symbol. And whenever there is a tick available, that will be pushed into this one. So now what we want to do is we want to store it in MySQL database. So I'll show you what I have created. So I have created a database called Alice Blue and a table called current underscore day. So I have already stored certain data into this. So Alice Blue is my database name and current underscore day is my table name. Now see, this is the table. How many columns does it have? These many. What are the names? Starts with symbol, last traded time LTT, timestamp, last traded price, last traded quantity, volume. So last traded quantity and volume both are different. So volume means the total number of shares that are exchanged starting from 9:15 until now. Whereas last traded quantity means whatever trade that happened just now, how many shares were exchanged between buyers and sellers? Only one share was exchanged at 11:52 56 seconds. Then from the market depth, best bidding quantity, best selling quantity. These two things also I have copied. Open, high, low. Then best bidding price and best asking price. These are the things that I have stored in my data. So I have created this because you also know how to create the database and how to create the table. You can refer to the previous videos where we have discussed the same. Now extract these data from the tick data. So if tick contains a dictionary, from this dictionary I have to extract the values. So the name of the dictionary is tick and all these are key value pairs. If I want to extract the last traded price, I will do like this. This gives me the last traded price. So likewise, we will store everything. Tick underscore symbol is equal to, it has an instrument object, and from that we have to extract the symbol. Then you have the LTP. You can store it. Last traded quantity. The volume. The buy quantity and the sell quantity. So this buy quantity and sell quantity are the total number of pending orders that are there. If you open the market depth, below that 5 best bid and 5 best selling offers, they will display you how many number of total quantities, buy quantities and total sell quantities are pending. So total buy quantity and total sell quantity. After total buy and sell, we will extract the open, high, low prices. Then the last traded time. So this is displayed as a timestamp, which we'll not understand later on if we want to refer to it. So this timestamp, we will convert it into a normal date time. So for that, the date time has an inbuilt function from timestamp, and just give the timestamp to this. So that is going to be tick off LTT. Likewise, the exchange timestamp. Exchange underscore time underscore stamp. Then best bidding price. And best asking price. Now we have to write all this data into the table. So we'll write a query first. Insert into table. This is my query name. Insert into the table name, which is current day. First give the columns, the names of the columns. What are the names of the columns? Symbol, last traded time, or LTP first, I think. Yeah, LTP, then last traded quantity, then the volume by quantity. Just refer to these column names here. By quantity, then sell quantity, open, high, low, the last traded time, the timestamp, best bidding price, and best asking price. These are the column names into which we want to insert the data. But what is your data? It is values. Now these needs to be subtracted by all of these things. Percentile, first comes the symbol, then LTP, just copy all of these things once again. So later we are going to substitute it by the real value. That is what this percentile s tells it. Then establish the cursor, db dot cursor, and execute the query, c dot execute. What is my query? It is insert into table Now give the values. Whatever values you are going to give here in the dictionary format, those values will be substituted over here. So the first value is symbol, which is going to be the tick symbol. The second value is going to be LTP, tick underscore LTP. The third value is going to be LTQ, last traded quantity. The fourth value is the volume. The fifth value is buy quantity. After sell quantity, the open. Then the low. Last traded time. The timestamp. The best bidding price. So these are the values that we want to store, and these will now be substituted in all this. Now, after executing the query, you should store, you should save it. So db dot commit the changes that it has just made. Now, when it commits the changes, if there is any error, then the connection will automatically be lost. So in order to do that, we'll handle that. So first try to save it and print the message tick inserted if everything goes well. And catch the exception. Print the message, whatever error is there, and after that db dot rollback. So whatever changes were there previously, before you have inserted the data, whatever things were there, it will be rolled back to that situation. So now you should have the data stored in the database. So let us delete the earlier data. Go to SQL, press the delete tab and delete the whole data. So all those 17,834 rows, they are deleted, and now the table is empty. So let us run the program. This data will now be copied to the database. You are getting the data, but I think it is not inserted into the database. No, it is not. That means there is some error. That's the problem. It doesn't throw what is the error. So ticks are being printed. Then after that, let's see at least these things are being extracted from it or not. We'll print it separately like this. Cell quantity, open, high, low, last traded time, timestamp, best bid price, and best ask price. Let's see if we are getting these things properly or not. From where here itself there is an error. Yeah, this is the error. It is not throwing an exception. That's the problem with these free modules. There is just a small spelling mistake. It could have told me that there is no key with this total underscore cell underscore quantity. Let us rerun. Right. Now see, we are getting the message, the tick inserted also. That means whatever tick you have got now, that is being inserted into the database also. Just click this current day once again. You will see all those tick data now. Right. We are getting it now. 144, 159, 147. That data we are now getting it over here. Now the next step is retrieve these ticks, convert them into candlestick data. That is what we want in the next step. So we'll stop this. We'll create a new program. So we'll use MySQL connector. Just wanted to show you another module through which you can connect to the database. You can even use the same PL MySQL only, PY MySQL only. So import MySQL connector, pandas, SPD, and datetime. Then in order to plot it, MPL Finance. Now within this main program, establish the connection. So cursor is established. Now query whatever data you want. So I'm requesting only for one symbol. So select all data from current day where the symbol equals ACC. Only the stock data of ACC we are requesting. Till then we'll let the program run so that some data will be there for us in order to retrieve. So query is ready. Now execute the query. Execute cursor dot execute the query. After you have executed the query, you can fetch the results. Now this, whatever data you have extracted from the database, the cursor has all the data now. From that cursor, we have to fetch all the data and store it inside the variable record. Now convert this record into a data frame. And the column names will be symbol, LTT, timestamp, last traded price, last traded quantity. It should match with these columns. Which one is at the starting, which one is the at the second place, third place. It should match the exact order here. LTQ, then volume, buy quantity, sell quantity, open, high, low, best bidding price, and best asking price. These are the column names. Now I want to resample the data. I have the tick data with me now. I want to resample the data. Resampling means converting the second by second data that you have into a minute time frame or hourly time frame or daily time frame, etc. In order to do that, whatever data that you have just read from the database, it doesn't have a proper index. The index is in the form of numbers starting from 0. But what we want is whatever last traded time is there, that I want to make it as an index. Dot set index. I want to set the last traded time as the index. And then call the resampling. Dot resample. What is the time frame? I want to resample that into 1 minute time frame. Each candle is equal to 1 minute. How do I want to resample? Whatever last traded price is there. So aggregate the last traded price as OHLC values. Then whatever last traded quantity or whatever the volume is there, that has to be summed up. So now it will create the candles. Open high, low close has the value of the candle and then the appropriate volume to that. Now, after you do like this, some duplicate headers are created. Two headers are created. So in order to remove that, first delete the existing header. So delete the existing headers and once again assign it. Open high, low close and volume. So these are the new column names that we are giving and you can print the data for your reference. And after you get the data, print it. FPLOT. So fplot dot use the plot function. Now give the data frame, which is data. Then type of the chart is equal to candle. Then style, we want green and red candles, for which you have to specify the style as Charles. Then the title of the chart is ACC chart. Y label, price is there on the y-axis, so label it as the price. And do you want to plot the volume also? Yes, I want to. So now the data will be downloaded from the database and it will be resampled into 1 minute candlestick. Let us run this program now. At a time you can run 2 programs, no issues. So we have the tick data now, and that is now being plotted as candlestick. So for some data, we don't have the full tick data. If you have the full one interval data like this, then it will be available. See, 209 and 210. The whole 1 minute data, you have it. So these two are the volume bars and this is the candle. So like this, you can retrieve the live data from Alice Blue, store it in your database. Later on, retrieve the tick data, convert it into any candlestick that you want, any resolution along with the volume, and then plot it. So this is what I wanted to discuss with you. I'll be uploading this to your dashboard. Let me know if you have any doubts.